Alright, I guess, did you do any touring in the States this year?
Yeah, we started about 5 weeks ago, and we did about 3 weeks worth of touring, and then after the show in Las Vegas a couple of weeks back, 10 days ago, Bruce Blade got real sick.
Yeah.
And we had to cancel, I think, about shows. And we've rescheduled the LA show, which was the first big show that we missed, and then San Diego. But the rest of, I'm not sure what's happening with the rest of them at the moment.
Yeah.
We're scheduled to go to Mexico on the 5th. Hang on a minute. The first date, I think, is the 7th of August. So it's a bit difficult to reschedule. But you never know.
Yeah.
We did Kalamazoo, Hamilton, Quebec, Cleveland, Chicago, New York, San Antonio, Dallas, a few other places. It's been very, very good. We've had some great shows.
Yeah. Was it something wrong with his voice, or?
Well, he apparently, when we went through Phoenix, Arizona, and then into Nevada,
yeah.
With the allergy sort of season happening, it really affected him. He had a bit of a sore throat prior to going into Phoenix.
Yeah.
And after the Las Vegas gig, he went down with a pretty bad throat infection and chest infection due to, according to the doctor, it was down to the allergies and the pollen.
Yeah.
Desert,
Yeah.
And poor old bugger kind of got a bit of a chest cold with it all, and the doctor originally put him off work for a week, said to rest his voice for a week, and then we went to see a specialist, a guy called Dr. Sugarman in Los Angeles, who's doctor to the stars sort of vibe, and he said, oh no, definitely another week. So he said 14 days of complete rest for him from singing. So that's really why why we had the problem with having to cancel the shows. So poor old bugger's not too well, and actually Steve went down very sick last week as well.
Yeah.
Why, I suppose the timing was was a bit bad, but Steve got sick too, so it was good for him that he could rest up, I suppose. We're going to get back on with it starting on Sunday, so
yeah.
Hopefully we can put some of the gigs back in later on. Who knows, later on this year perhaps. It's difficult to know when we can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Is America the only place you play the smaller clubs or places?
Well, yeah. The majority of the shows that we've had to cancel are actually the club dates. Before that we were doing sort of 3,000 to 4,000 theatres, and places like Pine Knob, and there was a gig in San Antonio, I forget the name of it now, it was outdoors, that was like 8,000 kids. So we had some, Dallas was brilliant. We've been doing sort of 8,000 to 9,000 seaters. So
yeah.
Back to the largest scale, we took a little bit more of a production out with us for those shows, and it was great. And we had Ronnie James Dio just before us, and a band called Dirty Deeds. So there was a 3-band act that went out that was really really kick-ass. It really threw some serious metal to people.
Yeah. So did you bring Eddie on stage?
Yeah. There was a couple of there was 2 surprise visits from Eddie. One more Spinal Tap than the other. But it was great. The kids loved that. I mean, he's so much a part of the band. It's the big problem with doing the club size gigs is it's not so much the size of stage for us to play on. It's just a lot of the places you can't get Eddie in.
Yeah.
So we decided that we would try and get him into most of it. We cut his size down a little bit. He's not quite as tall as he was a few years ago. So fortunately we would have been able to put him in most of the places, but some we couldn't.
Okay. How did your tour of Priest go?
Which one?
Well, how did your tour of Judas Priest go?
We didn't tour with Judas Priest.
Oh, I thought you toured with them over in Europe.
No, the European tour was Halloween, Ourselves, and Dirty Deeds.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just rumors.
Well, the rumour was we were going to do an American tour with Judas Priest.
Yeah.
And that was a possibility. Yeah, it's a bit in it, man. It was a bit more, it kind of nearly came off. It was just, I don't know, we still don't know the reasons why, personally why it happened. It didn't happen, but we were definitely very excited to no, Mum, it's that dog, I'm telling you. We were very excited because we were going to do a joint co-headline thing with but it didn't actually come about, and we don't know exactly why it didn't work, but I like that. That would have been really, I think that would have been superb.
Yeah. Are you into any of the newer bands?
Yeah. Say that again?
Are you into any of the newer bands?
No, I'm not. I'm kind of pretty out of touch with what's really going on, actually. I mean, you get kind of cloistered into, I channel all my time into Maiden and the tour, and I don't get a lot of time to really listen to other music at the time. So I tend to, get left behind with what's going on out there. To be honest, I haven't really been very impressed with a lot of the new stuff I've heard recently. So. I'm not the sort of guy who asks for, I'm a bit naive as far as that goes.
I guess back on Eddie again, what are your future plans for him, if any?
Well, future plan is to finish this Virtual 11 tour off, which goes through to the end of October, November time at the moment, possibly December. There's chances of doing Asia, the Far East, and coming back and finishing off in South America. That's still being put in place as we speak, but at the moment we've got plans to go through Europe again, Germany, Spain, France, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary. We're actually doing a gig in Istanbul, which will be the very first time that Maiden's ever played there. We'll start off in Greece on September the 4th. Then we do, I think we've got 9 or 10 British dates, and that takes us through then till the end of October last week. There's the Asia and Far Eastern gigs, possibly in Australia. That'll take us up to December, first week or the end of November. Then we'll probably take Christmas off and first week of the new year, and start work on the next album. We've actually got 3 or 4 songs that have been recorded from the last session that may be able to contribute to the new album material-wise. We don't know, because once we start writing the next album, it may have a totally different vibe to it, so the songs that were recorded last year may not suit. You never know. But the general plan is to try and get the album done, a lot quicker than we have made the albums in the past. The last 3 albums especially have taken quite a long time on each album. So I think we're going to try and go back to the old days and go in under pressure. 6 weeks to do the album, that kind of vibe. I personally think that's the best way to make albums. It really seems to, because it's nice to have that leeway of time to get things right, but it's nice to get things right in a shorter period of time, because you and this band have always been very, very good under pressure, so we might try and turn it around and get out, do some summer gigs next year. So there won't be that normal year to 18 months between the last tour or say like now. It won't be 2 years before the guys in the States see us again. And, we want to try and get back quicker and turn it all around. So, who knows? We may be back in a year's time. So, I hope so, because I think it's the state of the metal scene at the moment needs to keep being pumped with, the newer bands, and especially bands like Maiden and Priest and DC and, the good old contemporary hard metal bands, and just keep going out. I think saturation, like in the old days, is what's going to pay off. But of course the problem there is, a lot of promoters, you know, don't think there's any money in it, so they're not trying to promote it as hard as they used to, you know.
Yeah.
But having said that, you know, some of these shows that, majority of the shows that we've done so far in the States have all been, you know, very healthy and a good turnout. So one or two are a bit light, but you know, in general, I had a couple of times I've spoken to a few promoters that missed out doing the show for us this year, and actually owned up and said after it, wish they had done, wish he had a little bit more faith than they had. That's a nice own up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's healthy, I think, for our industry, for our side of the music. So that's the general plan. Hopefully get the new album done relatively quickly next year and be back out on the road.
Okay.
So Eddie, you know, you asked me what's the plan for Eddie, so
yeah.
he's going to kick us up the arse and get us back on the road.
Yeah, because I was also going to ask you about like is Eddie like a computer guy now?
Well, yeah, hopefully he's going to knock them dead with this new game. You know, there's logistical problems that are being worked at the moment, so that's kind of clouding the actual issue of when it's going to actually be released. They're still working on the game, but as I understand from talking to London the other day, that it's progressing very well. So it will be a little bit. We're looking before Christmas. The general plan was September, but it may be a little month or two later than that. Possibly. I mean, it's not dead certain whether it's going to be 2 months later or not, but you know, hopefully it won't be, because people are actually expecting and holding their breath waiting for it, you know. A lot of people have shown great interest, because there's a lot of kids that like computer games that don't necessarily, you know, like Iron Maiden. But because of the graphics and it's Eddie, I think it might, you know, influence a lot of people that like computer games to buy it because of the animation on it. And then, of course, there's incidental Iron Maiden music, which you know, it's not really a vehicle to sell the band. It's an actual, in its own right, computer game. Screen. You can have 4 players on it. Excuse me. You know, so it's very exciting. So hopefully it'll generate new fans. But I think, as you say, Cyberspace Eddie might rule. You know.
I guess you had an incident back in '96 at a show in San Diego, Chile.
Hello?
Yeah, you had an incident back in '96 at a show in Santiago, Chile.
Oh yeah.
What was that all about?
Oh, the Santiago gig was absolutely nuts. I mean, it was a little bit of a shame in a way, because we had a band called Heroes de Silencias opening up for us, and they walked on stage and they lasted 30 seconds. They got thrown off stage, the audience, and that was like the singer. I think the singer or one of the guys up front got hit on the head with a forceps. And it cut his head open, and that's not cool, you know. But it was hysteria for us. I mean, it was very flattering that, you know, the kids were going ape shit for Maiden, but you know, they shouldn't really have done that to the band. They're a great band, and they were our special guests. They really just didn't. We could have just walked out there without anybody opening, which is what they wanted. That was the only flaw to the day, because.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, sorry.
I think I better get the other phone. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just going to get the other phone. This one's cutting off and doing all weird and wonderful things. Hang on a minute, mate.
Alright.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll turn this one off.
Okay.
Yeah, it's buzzing away. I think it needs the battery needs charging. Are you there, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Right. And you know, we went on stage, and okay, you know, we were very sad for Heroes de Silencias, and you know, we went in and saw them all before we went on stage, and whatever, you know, just to sort of make them feel that, you know, we condone that sort of behaviour, you know. But anyway, we get on stage, and the kids that were singing, we did Man on the Edge to start with, and man, they were louder than we were. And that's never happened to me in a show in my life where I couldn't hear the band. All I could hear was the audience. They were so loud. It was very, very. It was just an amazing show. We just It's one of those that you know go down in your history that just are so memorable from the energy of the crowd. It was just incredible. I think there was about 7,000 kids in the room. It's sort of like an oval or a round room, you know, mega loud. Great time, absolutely wonderful. Beautiful golf course out there too. I had a great time.
Didn't somebody throw something at Blades or something? Or?
I think some people kind of got a little bit edgy with him.
Yeah.
You know, some coins were thrown up and stuff, and you know, there was a little bit of that. You know, that's his first tour going in after Bruce. I mean, that's a lot. That's big shoes to fill. You know, and I think because we'd not been to Chile before, you know, it's just like a lot of fans, old fans down there, and you know.
Have you ever had any instance like that before?
Not really, no. We've had stuff where people throw gear on stage.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, it depends. Sometimes stuff is thrown up it's not a malicious thing. Some people sometimes just want to be noticed, or you know what I mean? It's like sometimes get off booing you off, and so they throw money at you or throw something at you. That has happened. I mean, I've had one instance on about 3 tours ago on I think it was Fear the Dark tour. We were at a show, I forget where we were, and we were in the Midwest somewhere. And the next thing, I'm playing away, and all of a sudden, I heard like 3 or 4 extra bass drum beats.
Yeah.
When I'm playing, I thought, bloody hell, that sounded good. I didn't do that. and it confused me because I was going, and then the bass went, and I thought, fucking hell, hang on a minute. Somebody has thrown a golf ball.
Yeah.
At me, or at the drum kit, or maybe at Bruce, who bloody knows. It's gone in the hole of the bass drum.
Yeah.
It's hit the back bass drum head, hit the front bass drum head, come back to the back, so it's ricocheted off the bass drum heads, right? And as I've looked down, because I've got a clear skin on the bass drum, there's a freaking brand new Titleist.
Yeah.
So of course I picked that up at the end of the night, put it in my pocket, and went and played with it the next day. But, I think, you know, that sort of thing, to me, I was thinking, well, I don't think somebody was throwing it at me to, you know, because they don't like me or they didn't think I was playing well.
Yeah.
I think it was a term of endearment, because the kids probably know I play golf a lot. I'm a nutcase for playing golf. And there was this brand new Titleist ball thrown into my bass drum. So whoever threw it was a brilliant shot, because it went So that was kind of weird, you know. But no, nothing really heavy, you know.
Okay, so how does Iron Maiden compare to when you first joined them?
Well, it's a different ball game now. I mean, in terms of the music and the instrumentation of the band, it's stronger than ever. You know, myself and Steve and Dave and Yanni, it's just like the musical side of it is really, really strong. But the difference is, you know, we've got a new singer. There's a completely different personality in the band, and it's different. He's a totally different singer from Bruce Dickinson, but he's unique in his own style, you know. So there is that. There's a lot of difference in that respect. But on a different level, like from camaraderie, it's a lot easier working together than it was maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
So how much longer do you plan on drumming for?
Well, as long as God forbid, you know, and God willing, I've got my health and I can still play and keep the groove going and keep the power on and just keep the intensity there as long as I can. I mean, I'm 46 years old now, and I'm not, you know, I'm still loving it more than I've ever loved it, playing for Iron Maiden and being up there and driving the band every night. But I know that, you know, I can't fool myself, you know. I get to that age where the old rheumatism might start and the arthritis settles in, you know, or, you know, I need someone to help me out of bed in the morning. Who knows? But right now, I haven't got any problems. But I will go, and I said to Steve, and I'll say it to you and all our fans, you know, that I won't kid myself. You know, I'll bow out gracefully rather than, you know, carry on thinking it's okay. You know, I mean, if the day I can't, and I am the driver of the band, and the day I can't, you know, put it in the top gear and overdrive, mate, I'll, you know, I'll hand the sticks over to someone who can. Because, you know, I wouldn't kid myself, and I would hate for people to say, "Oh, fuck me, man, that boat's his old bastard behind it. He's playing like an old man." You know, I mean, I am.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, like a really old man. You know, and you can't. You know, with this sort of music, it's a passion, and I still have the passion. I think as long as that's still there, and the kids are out there loving to listen to Iron Maiden's music, and we still make great music, we can still cut it. You know, that's fine. But the day I can't do it is, you know, I'll probably still always play the drums, but you know, I wouldn't probably be able to go out and. You know, I wouldn't be out on the Maiden tours anymore. But then again, you know, we're all pretty much the same feeling to each other, and we've all got this kind of unwritten commitment to each other, you know, and we all know that the day we can't cut it, one of us, that we'll probably all hang it up, you know.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I mean, I've been in the band 15 years now, and I don't know, I suppose it's sort of, I'm part of it, you know what I mean? It's my life, it's another limb for me, and I think that's how the rest of the guys feel. But yeah, you know, we've been talking about, you know, what's going to happen on the next album, or how we want to approach it, and there's some big plan changes for us personally in our lives that we may have to do things a little bit differently next year, and it's just great. I mean, it's still a love affair, mate, you know.
Yeah.
And we still have the passion, and I think when you know, if you had the chance to see this tour. If you know, which you probably won't now, but you know, next time through, you know, it certainly will be the same. I mean, we'll be a year older, but you know, I think that we're possessed with it. It's possession, you know.
Okay. So who are your influences?
My influences? Oh well, I mean, John Bonham and Keith Moon. There's some great players today. I love Alex Van Halen's playing. Always have, you know. There's you know, Scott Rockenfeld from Queensryche, Michael Portnoy, people like that. They're all great. I mean, when you see great players, and you know, from drum point of view, you know, you can't help but get inspired by them, because you know, you realise that you know, these guys have got such a great talent, you know, and they're great players, and it's just such a joy to listen to people that really love the music the way I love my music, and my commitment to Maiden, you know. And you can't fail when you find people like that to enjoy it and to sort of relate to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I went to see Palm Page in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. It was absolutely phenomenal. Michael Lee was just unbelievable. Charlie on bass was... That you know, it's like seeing Led Zeppelin up there, but without JB, you know. But Michael Lee just hits a kit as hard as John Bonham, you know. So that was wonderful, and to see that sort of thing happening, and to go out and see, that's history to me, you know.
Okay. Well, since Maiden is on the same label as Dickinson, do you think the two bands will ever tour together?
Well, I don't know. You know, you asked me that question last year, and I'd have said no way. You ask me now, and I say, well, who knows? You know, time is a great healer, and time can change your outlook on many things. You know, heal wounds, it can open wounds, or whatever. But I would like to say, I'd like to leave my options open on that one. I would like to say maybe one day, you never know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying it would happen, but it's a possibility that there's, you never know. Stranger things in this life have been known to happen.
Yeah.
And for my feeling right now, I'm leaving my options wide open, mate.
Okay. How is the length of a song determined?
Well, it depends how many verses, how many choruses, and how long the solo is. It depends on what kind of mood the guy's in when he writes. A song is determined purely, the last thing you even think about is how long the song is. The only time I think you ever think about that, and this doesn't apply to Iron Maiden, is when you're writing a song for the radio. You know, when you want something that's below, you know, 3 minutes 54 seconds long, that sort, or 2 minutes 50 seconds, that kind of vibe. What happens with us is there's a classic example actually of a mistake we did make on the last album. There's a song called The Angel and the Gambler, and it's 10 minutes long, and it's about 32 refrains on the chorus. You know, I don't know how many it is, to be honest, but it's a lot. And you know, after when we recorded it, we were very excited about the song because it had a great vibe to it, and it was like, oh, let's put it out as a single. Let's leave it at 10 minutes. And we didn't really think about it, the long-term vibe, but it's, in retrospect, looking on it, you know, looking back at it, we're kind of going, yeah, it's too long. So what we do now, live, we've cut the song down by, we've got rid of a verse, the last verse, and we've cut down the choruses at the end, and it works very, very much better the length that we play it live now. So we made a mistake. We knew, therefore, that maybe we should have looked at it more realistically at the time. But that was just a mistake that was, you know, but it worked at the time. It works on the album in a way, you know. But we don't, you know, we're not conscious of time things. That's why that one on that track on the album is quite sort of, you get halfway through it towards the end, you think, oh, when are they going to stop? This keeps going around and around and around, you know. But anyway, you don't really think of time. You just, you know, you get the song and you write it and you structure it and you arrange it and it feels good. Then you record it and you look at it. How long is that? Oh, it's 8.5 minutes. Really? No, it only feels like 5 minutes long. But only look at the clock, you know. So, you know, we're not consciously aware of how long the song's going to take.
Yeah.
You know, but normally when Steve writes one of his epic tracks, like Sign of the Cross or, you know, or The Clansman, they usually come in at sort of 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, which was 14.
Yeah.
You know, but then that was a complete big epic song, you know. Why don't we do them anymore? I love them. Yeah. Anyway, mate, we'll have to sort of wrap this up. As you know, I'm running late and I've got one more interview to do.
All right.
Can we make this the last question, Tommy?
That one or next one?
Next one's fine.
Okay, so what's your favorite Maiden stuff to play?
Oh, my favourite Maiden stuff to play is pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know, every one of it. My least favourite was Flight of Icarus.
Yeah.
And Wasted Years was my least favourite songs to play live. So that's probably the better way to answer that. My real favourite tracks to play live are Clansman. Not necessarily in an order, but my favourite is Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Yeah.
When I play that live, it's just, I get possessed. There's something that comes over me when I get into that song. Just the way it builds and it goes solos and then you know, it's just a great track. It's such a vibrant song. 22 Acacia Avenue I like. The Prisoner, I like to play that. Number of the Beast, gosh, you know, 2 Minutes to Midnight. They're all great tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, for a drummer's point of view, virtually every Iron Maiden song is such a great song from a drummer's point of view because there's so much into them. There's a lot of the newer songs, like off of the Virtual 11 and X Factor. They're more straight. They're more kind of straight in the slot time, you know, from timing, just not too many time changes and stuff. But a lot of the older stuff is just a joy to play. It really is. I like Sign of the Cross is just a wonderful drummer's track for me. It's got all kinds of movements to it, you know. That's about it. Okay,
can I ask you one more question on it?
Well, then we'll have to make this the last one, Tommy.
Okay, alright. What does it take for you to come up with the drum parts on the songs?
Well, actually the drum parts, it's really a joy to do them, and because, you know, there's a lot of open choice, and what happens normally is when Steve writes a song, he has an idea of how the basic meter of the song should be, whether it's in a 3/4 timing and what kind of rhythm. See, Steve's a frustrated drummer, which is he knows rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my other half, and I'm his other half, but he can relate to me how, when he writes a song, how he sees the structure of the song. So we work it out together, and he'll give me, like, he'll sit and he'll mouth it, go, and he'll mouth it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll go, well, it's something like this, and I'll put my bit to it, and he'll go, yeah, actually, yeah. He said, maybe you can put a bit more into it than that. And so we work pretty much together as a bass and drummer. And then normally he'll just give me a scratch idea about, and sometimes he's very precise. He will say, no, I want this to be, this is the drum fill I want here. And then other times I'll do something and he'll go, oh, actually, that's good. Let's put this bit with that bit. Can you do that? So we work on the ideas pretty much together. And then all the rest of the guys, you know, Yannick's come up with a couple of ideas, and, you know, it's all a mishmash melting pot of getting the feel right, and we all work together, really. I mean, it's not just me coming up with all the rhythms, it's a band affair.
Yeah.
And that's the way the songs are written together, you know, and then what happens is Steve and I will work on the part ourselves without the other guys, just the two of us. So I know exactly what he's playing, and he knows exactly what I want, what I'm playing, what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
Then we get the rest of the guys in, learn the song. And I do try and stick to the original ideas as much as possible. From a drummer's point of view, there's a lot of flamboyancy to playing the drums. You know, you play the basic same feel, but you might put a little trill in here or a little drop beat somewhere.
Yeah.
Just puts your personality into it. So sometimes that happens and it doesn't work, and other times it really does work. You know, it's like Angel and the Gambler, for instance. It was a straight feel, but I ended up changing it slightly.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know. So it's a joy when we work them out. Sometimes it can be a bit of ecstasy, and sometimes it can be agony. But that's part and parcel of humanity. You know what I mean? So there you go, Tommy. It's a pleasure speaking with you, mate. Thank you very much for your time, and I know it was late, but I've got to go now.
Alright, appreciate it.
And I hope everything's good for your point, for your Devil's Triangle, Mag.
Yeah. Alright.
Any other questions or anything you want to go over, just give Tony a ring. Tony Ward down there at Sanctuary. You've got Sanctuary's number, haven't you?
Well, it's from Mazar Productions.
Yeah, just give Michael Mazer a ring if you need anything else, and they'll get back in touch with us and we'll work something out.
Alright.
Alright, mate.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tom.